Start the process of foiling. I hope to get all of this foiled today and move on to the next step, which would be soldering. But for now, let's just get all of these glass pieces clean. And usually I use a little bit of rubbing alcohol before I actually foil. So I'll wipe down the sides and the whole piece, because I want all of the oil from my fingerprint, my fingers, all of the debris from grinding or just the process, handling the glass or whatever, to be cleansed off. I've been taking the pieces out and washing them. I wash them with regular water. I don't have a sink set up in my area, but I am putting my pieces in water and I'm washing them. I will also do a final cleanse them with rubbing alcohol. Lightly scrubbing my piece over the water container. That way you don't have to worry about the copper foil pulling up. Okay, first I'm gonna change the blade. Yeah, it comes apart like that. These are finicky little weird things, these X-Acto knives. But I keep my blades in like a little oil. They're kind of drying out a little bit, but this feels, I might as well add a little more oil in there, so they won't rust when I'm not looking. So I'll just go ahead and get my glass cutting oil to work just fine. And I got like a little dropper. I'm just gonna put a little, it's inside of a plastic little like tote thing, and then I'm just gonna put a little oil. Doesn't have to be excessive, it's just enough to get the blades a little wet, and it'll stay in there for months. Now this one's gonna be greasy because I obviously put the oil right on top of it. But I just put it in there, kind of on top of half of it. I didn't really smooth it over. I might have, should have, but it'll be fine because it'll just sit in this plastic, sit in this like paper bag wrap, and keep them from rusting. So I thought I would share that with you. So I'll just put another thing I do with this oil, since I have it out. I keep my I have two favorites, but this is to like a straight edge cutting, glass cutting thing. So I'm gonna put a little oil, just a little bit at the bottom. I know I don't need to, and some of you are like, oh, you're just wasting your oil. Yeah, I get it, but it's me. I like it. I like it that way. I know that these when you press the head, they automatically decompress, and then the oil from inside of it is always there. But when mine's just sitting overnight, I don't like it to just be sitting dry. It's a preference for myself. I like them because metal rust. I showed you with my my tools. Like, they're just in my room. But you still have to take steel wool and you have to oil your stuff once in a while. You have to rub a little oil on stuff, metal. It is what it is. So, I mean, it would be best for me to just get a piece of steel wool and a little oil and rub it on my tools and rub them out. I did use a little steel wool the other day after I pointed it out on camera, but some of this is just in the metal. But yeah, a little oil here and there. Little oil on your favorite tools, especially if they're metal, is a good thing. Now this is the new one I got out of the package, so that's what I started off doing. So let me put this together. I just carefully, because that thing is sharp, slide it in there, and I'm gonna just push it down into this cork because I don't want it, turn in whenever I'm trying to spin the back end. And then I can, oh, see, it didn't catch. Did you see how it tried to come out? So I'll loosen it again. And then you kind of have to hold it while you, I don't even know if you guys can see it. Hold it while you tighten it. Now, all of these are a little different, but they're kind of similar. Whatever you do, if you're nervous about doing this, then have someone that is less nervous about doing it, do it for you, or be super careful. You could always put gloves on if you're really, really nervous about it. But keeping your fingers on this side of the blade is extremely beneficial. I keep my cap on it. Once in a blue moon, I'll like forget to put it on even during foiling, but most part, I put my cap on it even when I'm foiling because it's just a good habit to start. It's just a good habit to keep yourself in. And then when I'm done with these, because it rusts, all this metal, it just sits around and gets moisture and it rusts. So what I'll do is I'll take these and I'll use like either a can, or I'll take a water bottle that's got a lid, something that I can put it inside of. That way, if it's in the trash or whatever, it's less likelihood to cut someone later on. I don't know. That's just what I do with it. So that was just like, I don't know why I just shared this information with you because I thought it would be useful. Okay, I'm kind of transitioning this space to do my foiling. So I'm putting away anything that I use to cut or grind or that part of the process, and I'm getting my space ready so I can give my undivided attention to foiling. I'm using 7/32 silver foil. You will pick, when I say silver, that means the back of my foil is silver. There's black back, so there's black, or foil that has black for the back siding, and there's obviously copper. And you would pick what you would like to have by what you want your finished product to look like. for transparent pieces, it matters the most of what color you choose. So you kind of want to know the end product ahead of time. So if you want your piece to be silver, like the standard stained glass, then you would pick the silver back. Because the transparent pieces, you're going to be able to see through. I can give you an example. I can show you why you don't. Let's see. I can give you an example of how you can tell. This one, I used silver, and I used silver as my finished product. So when you turn it on this side and you're looking through the orange, you can't really tell. It just looks silver, like a silver line. Now, I changed up on this one, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be so pretty if I did it in copper? Like, I haven't used copper for such a long time. I really need to try that again. The copper finish turned out great. It's a pretty color and everything, but my foil, if you look down in person, but my point is I didn't use copper foil, and in person you can tell that that's not coated in copper. Like on the clear, I can see it, so it's silver. I use silver back. If I would have used copper back, it would have blended with the line in that in between, and it would have just looked like a full circle of copper going all around the glass, even in the part where you see the clear glass. The orange is kind of distorting it a bit, and the brown here, but on the very clear, you can definitely tell that I used silver, and it would have been much better to use copper. Well, before you get to the end, you want to have an idea of what you want what you want your project end result to be. Do you want it to be the standard silver lines and seams, or do you want it to be copper with copper patina, or do you want it to be the lines to be black, the solder lines to be black, and use black patina? I could easily probably do this with black patina, and it would look nice too. I'm going to show you what do we need to copper foil. You need your foil. There's different sizes of foil. I'm using 7 30-seconds. There's a 1/4, there's 3/8. I'm sure there's more than that, but them are the main ones I would use. You need something to adhere it to the glass. I like chopsticks. They've served me well when I'm going around curves and stuff, and I just really like the chopsticks. I do use the standard fit sometimes, but I've leaned more into the chopsticks. You need scissors to snip and cut it off. And if you need to patch, or on my pieces here with these round beads, we have some tight spots that, I mean, I could probably get the foil to go down through there, but if it splits or cracks or anything, and we have to use a like, what do you call, a saddle saddle across it where you're splicing it in and tending to that, then these really wonky curves that I've got from these beads, it's chances that I might need to do that. That's when you need the X-Acto. You also need the X-Acto to check your lines, because anywhere the the copper foil is, that's where the solder is going. So if you got really super thick line over here and a really super thin line over there, I mean, you could easily trim down the super thick line and get them uniform if that's something that really bothers you. Or you could go down in size of copper foil or up. I mean, there's so many ways that we can accommodate to what we like and our preferences. Also, like I said, rubbing alcohol. We're going to need rubbing alcohol. So, surface, a comfy spot where you're comfortable doing what you do. And then the rest is just practice and talent and doing it. You just got to get in there and do it. So, there you have it. Okay, let's just start over in the top corner. Okay, I will get a little bit of cloth saturated with rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to clean the piece. I'm going to clean everywhere on the piece. It should dry rather quickly, and you can tell that it's like a squeaky clean feeling. You can feel it. Kind of just makes the squeaky clean noises. Okay, then you'll get your foil. Peel back your piece. You can nip that top piece off if you feel like it had any type of whatever, not sticky or whatever. And try to avoid touching the sides as much as possible, but don't be afraid, because it's your own project and your glass. But yeah, I'm going to line this up. Trying to make it equal as possible on both sides. And you do have to touch stuff here and there because you're foiling, but you don't have to go overboard. Now I'm going and looking on both sides, and I'm rolling my piece around, adhering the foil to my glass. Now that feels a little heavy on one side. There it goes, a little better. You are human, you are not a machine, but you will get very good at this if you do it enough. Come out about fourth. Just give yourself a good tail. Flip it down. Then a lot of people just go around, and you don't really have to have anything to help you with that part, but I like the chopstick to get up next to that corner. But if you have fingernails, you could do that too. Just get up right against that corner, and then push it in good before you crimp this one down around it. And then you just kind of crimp, 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 crimp. You're just pushing it around. And then make sure that you're either using something to get way up there or your fingernail. And then laying this one down over it. And you just keep doing that to make sure that it's folding on the sides and corners well and properly. Then you make sure that there's some good friction flowing to encourage it to stick and adhere to the glass. Yep, and then check your sides as well. You can always use a fid, pulling it inwards towards the glass and towards the center. And then flip it and do the same. Pull the foil towards you, towards the center of the glass. And you can use your chopstick or whatever. Making sure that you're getting all of the foil to adhere to your glass, because this is what's going to hold your solder to the glass. Anywhere you see foil, that's where you'll see solder. So when you're looking at your piece and you see the foil, that's exactly where your solder is going to lay, and that's exactly how thick your solder is going to be as well when two pieces are coming together. So then you can decide what size foil works best for you. And then back over here, I'll take it and find its proper position. And it's so thin, but yet it does add a little tightness. It's ever so thin, but it does add a little more thickness in between these lines. So then on to the next piece. And just keep working through. Okay, let's foil one of my branches for my 11 by 6 panel that I'm naming Holding Dawn. It's a winter scene with a tree, like a tree branch with berries. And I'm using beads for the berries. So it'll be like 3D. But we're foiling right now. So I'm thoroughly cleaning it with rubbing alcohol. Making sure that it's nice and dry. Finding an edge to place and center the best of your ability to center the piece. You'd like to have equal amounts of foil on either side, and the best way I've found to do that is lay the piece in the way that I'm showing you, and then that way you can see it falling onto both sides, or on each side. You can see either side as you do it. And it's turned away from you like that. Then you flip it, and you can still see on either side. And you place it to try to get equal amounts on both sides as you unravel and press it into the glass. Now, sometimes it's going to get a little wonky and you'll have to pull up the foil and place it back down. Do your best to keep it flowing and turning the piece as you go. When you come to the end, leave yourself a tail and then flip it over like a lid. I use chopsticks. See how it has like a good layer on. You're like, okay, where do I start? You can start on any side. And I use the chopstick and kind of form it to go down. You can do that with your fingers and crimp it down. Sometimes I like to use the chopstick just to get it going in the right direction. Like the down towards it, like that. And then I'll use my fingers to continue to go down and around. An important part is when you get to an end, you want to get as close as you can to crimp the end, whether it's with the chopstick or the fid or your fingernail, so that's there before you pinch down and fold over. So I'll show you again over here. See how it's flared up a bit on the sides? I want it flat all the way up to that edge. Same over here. I want it flat laying down. And then there's like a flap that is clear. You laid that all the way down. Now you'll fold this over like you're wrapping a present. And you're gonna fold it over top. See? And then you get to this side, that's folded down. Go ahead and bring it all the way to the corner. So, and then now you can start doing this top piece. And yes, it's a long, wonky piece, but you can do it. You just roll around and crimp as you go. Or slide the fid or whatever your preference is to adhere the copper foil to your glass. And then you're going to want to use a fid or your chopstick to work around. You will need to add friction on the sides and get it really going to stick. You will also want to do it to all sides, even the ends, everywhere. And you're also going to want to pull the foil towards the center, wherever the center is that you're working. Pull it in so you know it's grabbing. You can also use this, whatever you prefer, and slide it along and pull it. Smooth it. The friction is warming that adhesive, and it's helping cause a nice good bond to your glass. If you've ever tried to pull copper foil off of a piece of glass and restart, you'll understand. It's not so easy to pull off, so it is adhering very well. If you give any bit effort, it will adhere well, and you will have a nice foiled piece. I always double check every corner and every edge. And remember, anywhere you see foil, there will lie your solder. So if you don't prefer it that thick or do, you can adjust accordingly. So there you go. So the tricky part is getting that forward piece, because it's just a slight bit thicker now, to go back into the slot that you took it out of. Especially if it's a long piece going across many smaller pieces, it can be a wee bit tricky. And if it feels too tricky, just lay it in as you do this one, get it, and it'll drop right in eventually. Don't get yourself in a great lather over, it has to be in that spot right this now moment. Like, you can, if it's not going in very easy and you feel like you're gonna knock things all silly, like I said, just pull a piece out and do that piece, shimmy it in, or another piece, and it will, they'll fold into each other. It will fit. It's just becoming a little more snug because that tiny layer of foil is adding more volume to your project. It's getting a little thicker. And it will be fine. So you can just continue to the next piece. And like I said, it'll just slide in as you go.